blink versus a glow. It's very subtle differences, but pretty much you're going to think you're just seeing a group of fireflies.
Oh.
And what they're known to do is lure travelers off their path to their demise.
What? That is just evil.
That's their whole plan, is just to wipe you out.
Damn.
To mess you up.
Okay.
So seeing them is supposed to be very hypnotizing, to where you're almost in a trance and you just follow these lights. Actually, Stargate SG-1 did an episode where I can't say for sure it wasn't intentional, but there was an episode with little white lights that would like hypnotize people.
Oh wow.
And they'd have to follow the light, and so immediately I was like, oh, somebody knows about will-o-wisps.
Yeah.
The writer of that show.
Jeez.
And then there's brownies, who are known, they're the ones who are going to take your one sock out of the dryer. They're going to hide your keys and put it right back where you just looked. You know, they're going to do all that stuff. They're going to turn your penny tails up instead of heads up. You know?
Man.
Yeah. They're going to set your smoke detector off in the middle of the night. They're going to do whatever to mess with you, because that's their job, is to be annoying.
So, do they mess with you only, like, in an outdoor setting, or, like, do they follow you home?
So, like, there's different types.
Okay.
So the brownies, they are in your home. They tunnel in, and unless you really suck up to them and leave them lots of goodies.
Oh.
Lots of offerings, lots of, they like their drinky. Leave them lots of mead, lots of bread.
Oh, wow.
Lots of sweets, like pastries and things.
Maybe that's where they got that in The Sims. Did you ever play The Sims, where they, during the holidays, during, like, certain events,
Yeah.
they have these little gnomes that just appear, and you have to appease them. And if you don't give them the correct thing, like, if you don't give them a fruitcake or a toy, depending on what they are, they will mess with you, like, in your house. Like, they'll...
That's a brownie.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they do.
Yeah, that's exactly what you described.
Brownies are also, like, AKA gnomes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's okay. I like Sims, copycats.
I know, right? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones who are basically... They're very, like... They're sort of demonic-like. They're not demons, but they are just... evil, jaded, bitter fairies.
Wow, okay.
Who, they, never got, like, their full fairy powers, or they're disrespected or, like, shunned from the community. And so they turn into these, like, angry, dark creatures, and they lose their wings, and they're more like, I wanted to say hobbits, but... They're more like a golem, almost. Is that his name? Who's my precious?
Oh, that thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen those movies, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, me either.
Like that little, like...
that dude. Yeah.
Oh, my precious.
Yeah. I don't know his name, but that guy.
Gollum? Yeah, I think it's Gollum.
Is it? Okay, yeah. So they turn into those things, and, like, it's still a fairy, but there's no appeasing it. There's no nothing. Like, if they're around, you're just screwed, because they're...
It sounds like a bitter, like, senior citizen.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say that, but it really does.
Minus the biting.
Well, some of them, you never know.
Oh, well, you do never know. I mean, I haven't encountered one, luckily, so... And so there's all kinds of different fairies. I actually have a fairy oracle that goes through, the most popular ones that are thought to exist, like the elementals and the actual, like, fairies that we commonly think of with, like, wings and,
like the
long
pretty
hair
ones.
and all. Yeah, the pretty ones.
Yeah.
And then it goes through and mentions the golems and, and instead of will-o-wisp, it's called Willow of the Wisp.
Oh, okay.
I have to make it, like, extra British. So, those are my goals. I got fairy goals for my backyard, at least aesthetically.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't necessarily want to, like, attract them so much, but, I mean, if I do, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna bug
So
them.
be it, yeah.
You know. I mean, I do think that I had a run-in with will-o-wisps a long time ago, maybe like, I don't know, over maybe 10 years ago or something.
Okay.
But it was right here in town, actually, well, next town over, Havre de Grace. There's, you know, the graveyard, I don't know. The graveyard down by, used to be a 7-Eleven, but now it's a Wawa. It's like right when you come off of 155 into Havre de Grace, if you return up to by like the Pizza Hut.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so behind the Pizza Hut, there's a graveyard into Havre de Grace.
Okay.
If you return up to and there's like the old half and the new half. So I was in the old half, and I the trees were all sparkling. The treetops were sparkling, and this was summer, so I was like, wow, like I was saying before, like I thought it was fireflies.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, but then I was confused because, like, the way I was describing them, you know, they were very round, it was white.
Right.
And they were blinking out a lot faster. You know, they weren't glowing like fireflies do. And, yeah, it totally just, like, entranced me, captured my whole focus. And before I knew it, I was walking to the tree line that I saw sparkling. Because, I mean, it was, like, the whole tree line. I mean, there would have been thousands of lights.
Yeah.
I mean, with how many were covered. It was just nuts. And, you know, I stopped because I saw a woman. It was like this little, like, oval of a clearing in the bushes on the ground.
Okay.
Where it was this little, like, porthole kind of view.
Yeah.
I know. But it was
that's interesting, though.
It was like a whole, like, think of like Snow White kind of
Okay.
scene. But it was this woman with long blonde hair that came down, you know, to her ribs. Like you would see like a maiden, you know, in like...
Yeah. Like Sleeping Beauty or something.
Yeah. Like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, you know. But she clearly, like, was a wild one because she, you know, her hair was long and very frizzy and, you know, just whatever. She was singing something.
Okay.
But it was like, I couldn't see her mouth moving, but I could hear the song, and in my mind, like, I knew she was singing. I knew it was her.
Yeah.
And there were all these animals around her, like woodland creatures, like Snow White.
Yeah, that's
you know?
interesting. Okay.
And there was a fire that she was in front of with a cauldron on it. I mean, this image, I mean, it was so clear. It was as clear as, like, staring at you right now. Like, it was, like, real.
Wow.
It looked real.
Yeah, okay.
And later on, after the experience, I realized that, you know, I was seeing this in my head.
Yeah, that it really wasn't there.
But I wasn't. Yeah, and, like, I was just, like, projecting it instead of really seeing it. And I don't know what happened. Oh, the woman was like, she kept doing this, like, you know,
motion. Like, come here. Kinda.
She didn't move her head, but she was just very focused on the cauldron, and the animals were all around her hanging out, and she was just, like, doing this.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was very detailed for being, you know, this random experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea how much time passed, but eventually, you know, the friends that I was with started looking for me. I heard my name being called, and it snapped me out of it.
Oh, okay.
And the next day, well, that night, her voice and her image stayed in my head.
Sure, yeah.
And it wasn't like replaying what had happened or anything like that, but it was like she was saying, hey, come back. It was almost like she had, like, psychically followed me.
Wow.
And she was, like, somehow attached. She was still in my head.
How did you break the attachment, though?
I never did anything to break it. I just didn't listen to her. So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't, like, that, like, hypnotized or, you know, I guess, or whatever. And the rational part of me, at least, was still, like, aware enough to be like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not good. Right.
Yeah.
And so I went back to that graveyard during the daytime.
Okay.
And sure enough, just like the will-o-wisp's tails go, right where I had stopped walking
Yeah.
was a flat drop off.
Oh my god, I just got chills.
Down into, like, farther down into it was like a wooded area.
Yeah.
But definitely nothing that would have been too easy to, you know,
Get out of,
fall off of without some major injuries or more. And the spot that I had seen, this whole forest floor and the woman singing and this whole scene,
Yeah.
basically would have been like in the air.
What?
There was no ground. I was on the edge of a drop off.
Huh.
And then there's, like, I don't know what's below it. But then there's just this gap. And then there's the new part of the graveyard, like, right across.
Yeah.
But it's like a wide gap. And I don't know.
That's crazy.
But where she would have been sitting and everything was literally just the air. I mean, it was, like, in the trees. So, it's very weird.
That is weird. It almost reminds me of, like, I think it's in Greek mythology or Roman mythology, the sirens that lure...
Mermaids, essentially.
Yeah, that would, like, lure the sailors, you know, hey, come here, you know, get some booty, whatever, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden it's like, boom, it's like tsunami or, you know, your ship is, like, sunk now.
Because the whole thing is they're cannibals.
Yeah.
They eat the sailors.
Yeah. And it's like, but they're entranced, you know?
Yeah, the singing completely just gets them hypnotized. Just like the lady that I saw, her singing is what drew me over.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Remember when we were at my house where the lot was not even being built next to us? I remember we came outside and we saw, like, mass amount of fireflies in that field, like, but it covered the entire thing.
And we were so upset that they were going to be mowed over whenever they did build a house.
But I just remember us, like, just staring at it for, like, 5 minutes and, like,
no
one said a word.
No, I mean, like, there were, like, so many, though. It, like, literally acted as, like, a mini lantern. It actually, like, lit up, like, the grass around it.
Yeah, like, there were so many.
Yeah.
I just remember that. That was so weird.
Yeah. What if?
Yeah.
So, Patrick here in chat is saying, he's asking, have we ever heard of any kind of fairy called a hob? So I've heard of hobgoblin.
Hobbit.
I've never heard of a fairy just specifically called hob. I've heard hobgoblin. I've never heard of Calvin and Hobbes.
Sorry, I don't know.
Is that the dude that pees on everything?
I think so, yeah.
That's Calvin?
Like, yeah, the little boy and, like, But he thinks it's real, but it's really like a stuffed tiger.
It is a tiger. Yeah. So unless you're referring to like hobgoblin, no, I never have heard of just hob. Do you know who they are? Can you tell us about them? And then he also says, well, what do you think her objective was in trying to attach to you? Oh, she's just evil. Will-o-wisps are just... She wanted me to walk off that cliff and, you know, end up being trapped there with her because she's lonely, and that's how she... I would have turned into one of the animals around. All those animals probably represented her victims.
That's weird.
Yeah, right? I just got that right now as I was talking. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like the missing people, you know.
Right, yeah. Like, have you guys heard, speaking of fairies, like... Have you guys heard of, like, missing 411 stories ever? They're usually related a lot to berry picking. That's it. Just don't eat berries and you're okay.
It's so crazy. Just find and shop right. Call it a day.
I know.
Don't be adventurous.
Yeah. Or even, like, there are a ton of missing 411 stories from Yellowstone here in America.
Okay.
I think in America it's one of the largest numbers of cases.
Really?
Is from that area.
See, it doesn't pay to go in nature. Just don't. Watch it from afar, but just, you know.
Yeah. Just stay in.
Yeah.
So Patrick says that hobs are the British agricultural fairies.
Oh,
okay.
No idea.
No, they're called something else here, but I don't remember the name.
Tinkerbell. I'm just kidding.
Tinkerbell the farmer. If you feed Hobbs milk and honey, they look after things for you, keep the roof in order, make sure the cows and other animals don't eat anything poisonous. Oh, so it's similar to brownies.
Okay.
Like, a big way to invoke a fairy is with is with breadcrumbs.
Oh.
Or stale bread and honey, covered in honey,
Okay.
and a thimbleful of mead.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. You know what, and I've heard the thimbleful of mead before. Yeah.
Apparently, if you put that out. So, of course, when I was a teenager, I used my CD stand. I had one of those really cool, like, spinning CD stands that had, like, 20 CDs or something. And I was like, 20? Holy crap! But I used the top of it as my my altar.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know, that's just what I
That was what you had, yeah.
It's all the effort I was willing to put into it.
Yeah.
So I like took one of my mom's dinner plates and made it my my offerings table.
Yeah.
To try to invoke the Fairy King.
Okay.
Is who I was after.
Jeez, all right. Go big or go home. All right.
And so that's what I did. I filled it with breadcrumbs. I put it in a nice pattern. I put it in a nice circle pattern. I did the honey all nice and pretty. And I didn't have mead. I didn't have access to mead, but I think I put
some Budweiser.
Yeah. No, I think it might have been like iced tea or like Kool-Aid or something.
Okay, yeah.
But there was a beverage.
Yeah, exactly. Had some
And
food, some honey, some beverage.
It sat there for so long, I'm sure whatever it was fermented. Because I was waiting for him to come.
Yeah.
I was waiting to wake up one day and see any amount of it
gone or something.
disturbed.
Yeah. So it
never happened. The bread grew mold and I had to throw it away eventually once it started to smell.
I mean, unless he ate such a small amount
that I
you
just
didn't
couldn't
even notice.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, my whole thing when I was a teenager was I'm going to invoke this Fairy King and he's going to do my bidding.
Ooh, okay.
So you don't go to fairies for that kind of stuff because they are super serial, and if you ask them for a favor, they're usually a lot of times like the contract that you sign with them is like they get your firstborn. That is a very common way to pay them back for doing you any amount of favor.
Wow. Okay.
And if you already have a child, then it's your first grandchild. Because it has to be a newborn. Yeah.
That's insane.
Fairies are some,
addictive.
not quite as they've, have been so commonly depicted.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I would never think they'd be this malicious.
They're
almost.
violent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But again, they're kind of like very like schizophrenic because it's like they're either super sweet and like to party and hang out, like like we hear of.
Yeah. Oh, then that goes well with Patrick's comment, Fairy King or Goblin King, aka David Bowie. David Bowie liked to party. So.
Yeah, I mean, I meant the Fairy King. I was not trying to invoke the Goblin King, but the Fairy King. So the list says, she was taught never to mess with the Fae, and then Patrick says, and they do what with the Firstborn, and then there was a horror movie that used that concept, says Keenan. Yeah, so there's, I don't remember the name of the movie, but I do remember that concept being on film.
It wasn't Candyman. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. That's the only movie that's ever given me nightmares.
Yeah. I remember my friend Marlena and I, we watched it for her birthday. We were probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And it was like a bunch of us. Yeah, we didn't sleep like at all.
No.
We pretty much called our parents. We're like, we want to go home.
Yeah. For like a week straight, I had a recurring nightmare about him breaking into my house from the inside.
Yep.
And, I would wake up at the same part of the dream, and be screaming,
Mhm.
but nothing would be coming out. It'd be completely silent. My voice would just be... And I kept having the dream, and finally one night I woke up and I actually just was screaming
Yeah.
to where my parents came in to, like, check on me. And after that, that's it. That broke it. Then I never had the dream again.
Oh, that's good. Some Fruity Krueger type of, horror right there.
It was not okay.
No, it's not okay.
So what do fairies do with the firstborn? They usually cook it up for a feast.
Yeah, I would think they would, like, take, I don't know, like, their innocence or, take, like, their youthfulness to kind of maintain their immortality.
Yeah, they make fun wines, they, a lot.
Jeez.
And it becomes like the Thanksgiving turkey, except on a magical level.
So wrong.
I know. I shouldn't talk about babies like that. But it's what they do.
Yeah.
So.
It's not like you do it, it's what they do.
I'm just repeating facts.
Yeah. Facts.
These are not opinions, these are facts.
According to Google.
So I gotta put a sign in my little fairy realm out back to say, like, no eating the firstborn.
Yes, firstborn of anything.
Firstborn of anything shall not be used for your magical advancement or longevity.
You know what's funny is when we were still in the office, we used to, one of my old coworkers, he's like older, he's probably like in his late 50s, early 60s, I would say, like Navy, like admiral, like he's like up there. He would call them Minahoonies because I forget, it's from either a TV show or some kind of folklore that he read, but it's basically like these little fairies that just kind of like mess everything up. Like they'll, take a cord from you, or they'll like, mess up your computer and stuff like that. So, yeah, he'd be like, the Minahoonies are at it again, and I'm like,
doesn't that almost sound like, hey, you shouldn't say that?
That's what I said. I was
Don't say that.
I'm like, it's like Beetlejuice. Do not say it.
Yeah. Don't even. The more you say it, the more they really live. So, what if taking the firstborn is metaphorical? Well, except it's not. Like, there are drawings of it in books that talk about fairy lore and stuff. But if it is, say, okay, so let's just theorize and say, okay, yeah, if it really was all metaphysical, even the drawings, because perhaps, just like, when stories are handed down word of mouth, maybe things are taken more literally than they were originally meant.
Yeah.
And you say, you wonder how much mental illness is from the fae taking someone. Right, so it also could be, that mom who had lost her baby.
Yeah.
And her immediate denial response is, oh, the fairies took them.
Right, yeah. It's like they could take your lucidness, your, cognitive abilities or something.
Or like, postmortem. I was going to say
postpartum.
Postmortem stress disorder.
In the same realm, but not really. Same, but different.
Yeah, same, but no. Try again, please. No, yeah, so yeah, postpartum.
Yes.
Depression, not stress syndrome.
Yeah, no.
I'm really good at being a host on this show.
You are doing great.
I am in my ideal position as a human being.
You are doing amazing.
Aw, me fall for me. But no, for real, that it could be the mothers who are suffering from the postpartum depression, and they really believe that they're really having these delusions.
Yeah.
Or even women who just don't have any medical way to find out that they're actually sterile, or just blame it on the fairies, especially countries who still have that fairy lore is still very, very real to them. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that I'm sure happens.
Yeah.
I don't see that being that far-fetched, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise in my house right now that just really distracted me. All of a sudden, outside voices became like inside voices, as in
It's
like
the fairies.
I know, like it was like voices outside of my room became inside my room voices, and this show is now officially haunted. Ooh, the cats learned how to speak.
That would be amazing.
What if it was just like Billy out there having a conversation?
Like on Sabrina?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would love that. Salem?
The Salem, yeah. So, surprise? Fairies are
Vicious.
not quite what we thought. And going back to talking about missing 411, I think we started and then got distracted back with fairies again because they do have a lot to do with this. But there's a lot of missing 411 cases. Like, I think the heaviest concentration of them in the country are around the Yellowstone National Park. And so there's this other podcast that is really, really great to listen to called Mysterious Universe. And they talk about alien abductions, and they talk about missing 411 a lot, and like missing time, and what commonalities all these cases seem to have with each other.
Okay.
And there's actually a Netflix documentary called Missing 411 right now that's on. It is enough to give you like a skimmed through understanding. No, it doesn't go in depth or anything. It just more talks
Not too
about
heavy.
No, it just shows you a
Okay.
couple different people's stories without ever going into like the actual phenomena itself.
Oh.
So it's like unsolved mysteries. So you kind of like
Okay.
learn about what the phenomena is by watching the reenactments.
Mm-hmm.
But commonly, it's a couple factors that all the missing 411 cases seem to have in common is that they're either if they're in a group, they're the last person in the group, and they wander off by themselves for whatever reason.
Because they're stupid.
Because they're stupid, or they gotta pee, or yeah. Like there was a story on that on the Netflix series where it was a group of hunters, and the way this group of hunters worked was one man was a lookout for the deer while the other men were up in their post with their guns.
Yeah.
And the one man's supposed to give the signal to the other men.
Right, okay.
That there's one nearby, a deer nearby, I mean. And so the man who was the lookout, they didn't hear from him for hours, and they go looking for him, they never find him, they don't find any trash, no footprints. I mean, and these are hunters.
Oh, wow.
So they know how to look for tracks, even if the tracks have been covered by leaves and things, like they know what to do.
Right.
So they searched like 100-mile radius, over time, and no luck ever. And that's kind of what these missing 411 cases are, is just like mysterious, like there's absolutely no indication that a person was ever in the area. They just like poof. And a lot of times it's been discovered that the person's belongings and their clothes are neatly folded in the area they were last seen.
What?
But the bodies are never recovered. And sometimes when the bodies have been recovered, they are like cattle mutilation style. Yeah.
That's insane.
And it looks like they've been experimented on. Like their bodies will be rearranged, or they'll oftentimes be found in the fetal position, and the coroner's report will say, cause of death is that they died from exposure. Well, of course they did, because suddenly they're naked now.
Yeah.
In the woods.
That's really crazy.
Right.
That's...
Unless they're eating berries. I mean, you don't just eat random forest berries. That'll make you hallucinate. Then
True,
then
yeah.
you might just take your clothes off.
That's true.
But no, I mean, like, and Keenan's like, and that is why I stay out of the woods.
Smart, Keenan. Very smart.
Yeah. And there's other signs, like, sometimes the people come back,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be, like, a large amount of time later. Like, usually days. Like, not just hours. I mean, it's usually, like, well within the, like, legally documented as a missing person,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
time. And the person shows up, and they're, like, a couple things will happen. Either they think it's only been a couple minutes, and they're just like, oh, hey, guys,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why'd you change out of your hiking gear, you know? Are we gonna go, or what?
It's like, bro, you've been missing for the past couple days.
Right. And then the person's like, I have no memory, no recollection.
You know what? I wonder if someone's been missing and came back decades later.
This has happened too.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's crazy. Could you imagine? It's like 1930s, you're out picking berries, you're like, you know, the depression sucks, whatever, and then you come back, it's like 1995.
Yeah.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, no. And it's, it really happens. And, like, so anytime I hear stories of anyone dying from exposure now, I'm just like, Or did they?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, so that's a thing. It usually also happens near bodies of water.
Okay.
And that's been theorized to have something to do with the way the Earth's natural ley lines
Mm-hmm.
are, and where there's certain intersections or multiple intersections at one point, it can cause a heavier energy field that some people
Right.
are more sensitive to than others, like how some people can wear analog watches and others can only wear digital.
Okay.
Is that right? That's, yeah. And
Why? They just can't tell time on a...
well, I don't know. Like, my grandma, it was something about, like, every time she put a watch on, it would stop within, like, a day or so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably because the energy that they're giving out,
It was something with,
messes.
like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like the same idea with these ley lines is that,
Okay.
just like certain people have a stronger energy field, certain geographical,
Mm-hmm.
certain points
Yeah.
in the world, certain areas. And because water is also a conductor,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Crazy stuff happens near the water.
yeah, whatever the geographical makeup of the land is, and also having in common that it's a collision point for multiple ley lines. It can be a very energy heavy place for people who are more sensitive to
Yeah.
energy fields, whereas, like, you might go there and just be like, got my sandwich, I'm good, having a good day.
Yep. Have my little high C
Yeah.
ecto cooler, you know.
Yep.
Delicious.
Meanwhile,
It's like Satan's porthole is like right here,
right there.
sharing my lunch with me.
You know, like 10 feet below ya, there's Mr. John the Hunter being spit roasted.
You know, I was just thinking, I don't know why this popped in my head. Before you start digging and do water back here, you should probably just do some research, like look at old like contour lines, just, you know,
Uh-huh.
just double check. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
No,
but-
that's actually pretty smart. Like, what if there are, like,
yeah, you
I
don't,
don't
want to
wanna-
open anything up.
I don't want to, like, open anything up, like, spiritually wise, but also, like, I don't want to hit, like, a water line or,
Yeah.
but I
You
think
probably should call Miss Utility too, just in case
Mhm.
you're before you digging.
I don't know if there's any, like, electric lines. I doubt that, though, and wouldn't they be more than 4 feet?
They would, but I would just
Yeah.
because
Old remnants, I'm going to find, like,
dinosaur bone.
my dinosaur bones. That would be awesome. Let's see. Patrick says a thing like what Lauren is saying happened in Fredericksburg, Virginia, in the 1950s. A dude in a Civil War era uniform pooped out of nowhere in front of a car downtown and got run over by a car. Yeah, that's exactly what you were talking about with
wow.
so 1930s version. Yeah. With
Did he
the missing
live
hole.
though? Like, or just was he kaputsies with the car? Oh, I'm gonna have to Google this later. That's really
Wow.
interesting.
Oh. And there's been like time traveler stories too about, people from the future showing up.
John
and-
Teeter.
Yes, we were just talking
I
about
know.
that.
I really wanted to like Google some of his, quote unquote prophecies.
That'd be really great for the next time that you're on.
Yeah. Because like with all this political stuff going on overseas and here, I'm like, I wonder if he said anything about, any of this,
Yeah.
Interesting. But
So interesting, man, to mentally prepare yourselves for the conversation of is this a John Teeter?
Teeter?
Titer? Teeter? T-I-T-T-E-R?
T-I-T-O-R.
Titter.
Titter.
Teeter. John.
John.
T.
T stands for time traveler.
Yes, John the Time Traveler. It says he screamed and died. No idea or anything else to identify him.
Huh.
That's a real shame because that would have been a cool person to talk to.
But you know what? I wonder if they ran his DNA now with all the technology they have,
I know, they might be able to figure something up. I wonder whatever happened to the body. Did they just bury him or just cremate him maybe?
Or just like, bye.
Just like, you can get back in the sewer. It's okay, excuse you.
Sorry.
You're dirtying your streets. I don't know. But, yeah, so there's a lot of ideas going on out there. There's a lot of weirdness that we have the chance for since, I'll be digging up some earth, quite a bit of earth tomorrow.
A little bit.
And with the whole, fairy tale theme, I'll probably be bringing in the idea is to bring in happy energy.
Yes.
Although, as I've crushed all of your childhood ideals tonight by revealing the truth of our fairy friends as being kind of gangsters.
A little bit. Yeah.
Maybe that's not the best theme to go for, but I'm going for it because it's pretty.
Yeah,
and it'll
I think
make
you
me
should.
happy.
Yeah.
And the chances of that anything really being invoked at that IKEA particle board.
Oh, good lord. I think this is wood.
This is real wood.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. So hopefully those chances are pretty low.
Yes.
I won't be mumbling any words of any kind except for probably grunts and expressions of misery from digging. My backyard is so rocky.
Yeah.
It's nothing but rocks back there because I'm on a hill.
You should probably rent some equipment.
I'm going to give it a go with the shovels. And if it becomes an issue,
Okay.
I'm going to be like, my first thing is going to be clink,
Nope.
clink, clink.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, done. I'm returning everything.
Yeah, because you can
Going back to
probably-
bed.
Yeah, seriously. Rent like a backhoe. Or not even a backhoe, like one of those little tiny tractors with like the little shovel thingy.
Maybe a tiny tractor because I'm thinking like backhoe is a lot of machine for
You
just
may
a
not
4 foot.
need like a license. too.
Yeah, and permits and surveys and.
Nah, go right to that place over here. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called.
The auto tiller to break up the.
See?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, I have a manual tiller. It's by Friskers.
Friskies.
Friskars. The sewing machine people. No, not sewing supplies people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you may want to get an auto tiller for that.
I have to call my uncle. Be like, hello, I need your machinery because he has one.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a
just
big
drop it off.
thing. I tried to use it once, and when it hits rocks, it vibrates. It goes like.
Yeah.
Every
Oh,
time
you're
it
talking about
hits
an
rocks.
auger.
I'm talking about an auger.
Yeah.
I am
As soon as you
qualified.
said that, I was like, oh, that sounds like the thing Chris uses.
I am super qualified to be putting this pond in on my own.
Certified, guys.
Yeah, I know words.
Yeah, the auto tiller. It looks like something like Splinter from Ninja Turtles would like ride because it's like
Oh, okay.
it's like the thing that you know
Yeah,
and it goes
yeah.
down.
It has the big drill bit.
Yeah,
right?
but instead of like an auger where you go like down, it goes like to the side, kind of.
Okay, that is
thing.
fun. I can't handle that, but maybe. Maybe
we could like
Maybe-
double tag this
maybe.
effort. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you hold one side,
I'll hold the
other. Maybe I'd be like, hello, could somebody with some muscles and experience please come operate this? You need to be here soon, though, because this is on the hour, and I gotta get it. I mean, I'm only...
Hello.
Yes, please.
Time it when the lawn people get here.
Oh, I'll just be like, excuse me,
You're
por
like-
favor.
Senora, please.
Do for some lemonade box. Lemonade stone, please.
$100. There you go.
Look at the money fly. Look at the fly. Please no choppy chop. Just drilly drill.
Just really good.
Drilly drill. Thank you. Thank you much. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And then I asked them to do something, so when they don't do it, I can call the company and be like, hello.
They are so
I
uncooperative.
requested this additional service, and your people just like looked at me and said, "K," but I think they mean more like "quay," because that's Mexican, right? Okay. Anyway, can you do the thing, please? I offered them lemonade cubes
And money.
and invisible money. It's a monopoly money. You take it and you do the thing, because I am a little girl, but I want a bigger pond.
You.
No, it's like Frisks. It's Friskers or Friskas, one of the two.
You sure it's not Friskies? Like the cat food?
No, it's the sewing machine people. Go on Amazon. It's Friskars. Hold on. It definitely is. Hold on.
You sure?
No, yes.
Oh, you know what I ordered from Amazon?
It's Fiskars.
It's a hand chainsaw.
That sounds amazing. It's Fiskars.
Fiskars, okay.
Fiskars.
Sounds like someone misspelled whiskers.
I know. That's why I can never fucking remember how to say it either. It's Fiskas or Fiskars, right?
Yeah.
Fiskars.
Fiskars.
Yes.
Mystery
it's
solved.
Fire scars. Fire scars.
Fire.
See, I remember that name. Jeez, they gotta all make it complicated with their like misplaced syllables and
Right?
Ugh.
The heck?
Anyway, so it's been an hour, and hopefully y'all enjoyed yourselves or got some new information about the lovely, not so lovely world of the fairies.
Yes. Don't mess with the fae.
Yeah. Many childhoods ruined.
I know, you
crushed.
just drilled their dreams.
I fiskered their dreams.
You fiskered their dreams.
Yep. Childhood memories are nothing more
Yeah.
than screened memories now of having been abducted by the fairies for
Yeah.
a little mead party.
I'm gonna check out that Netflix thing though that you recommended.
Yeah, it's okay. It's interesting but hard to watch, if that makes any sense, because it's not exactly like exciting.
Okay.
And it's very, the narrator's very like, and then one day she wasn't there. Her friends didn't know where to find her.
She disappeared into eternity.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's nothing like,
Okay.
and there's, you'll see.
All right.
But the information is good.
Okay.
Presentation, B minus.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for having me on here.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Hey, and hopefully you'll be back, as your schedule allows. Miss Important Office Lady person having weekend work and stupid crap.
I know, right? What the heck?
Well,
Terrible.
hopefully no one from work actually watches the show and hears me talk like that.
I hope they do. Right.
Well, then, in that case, let me tell you what I think about the... No.
You know.
No, anyway, you see the camera like... Like, no. Don't talk anymore, please. Back to ghosts and cats.
Yes.
And about that pond. Let me hear you on a waterfall. So Patrick's like, no, don't go, it's so much fun. Well, we could keep talking, but I mean...
Go to bed, Patrick.
Yeah, go to bed. Yes, we have our bandwidth except... Our bandwidth is full.
Oh.
YouTube only allows us so much.
Gotcha.
And we can only ramble about things for so long until it gets real.
True.
And you don't want it to get real.
No. You guys can't handle that.
No.
Sorry.
No. It's not that kind of a show.
Yeah.
So, check us out on our OnlyFans.
What kind of show are we doing?
What?
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, so... Restream has been really great. Those of you who do have Twitch, the show does stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously. At the same time, concurrently, like this. Not this, but this. So, whichever platform you most rather use is all good. And also throughout the week, I stream all kinds of other random, ridiculous things on Twitch, like me painting my nails or making tomato pie at 11 o'clock at night, because that's when you cook.
Yeah.
It's got to be ready for the next day. So
I agree.
Yeah. There'll be all kinds of other random, possibly spooky, mostly not spooky stuff, like me streaming Candy Crush for an hour.
That's fun.
For your ear
viewing pleasure.
Yeah, for your viewing pleasure. And the music is very relaxing, so you can just listen to the music in the background and enjoy yourself for...
It's like a spa day.
It's like a spa day.
Yeah.
Yes. So, there's that. Don't forget, there is still the Teespring store with plenty of good Coffee with the Dead merch. We got fanny packs, which are actually my favorite item, and I know they're like $40, but they're super durable, and if for whatever reason you have an issue with yours, you just have to let me know, and I'll replace it free of charge.
It's good to put your snacks in.
And it's good for your snacks, yeah, especially when you're picking berries.
Yeah.
It's a perfect berry basket.
There you go.
There you go.
Because you're not taking too much, so they can't really...
I mean, how much
you.
can really fit in there versus
Yeah.
a whole big... Yeah. So, keep up with the Facebook page, of course, because that is where all the updates are. You can follow me at facebook.com /Parian, because believe it or not, somebody else already has Parian.
Really?
Yes. Lame. And it's just like this blonde, like, robot, like bot, like a fake account.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so my name, The Parian. If you're interested in any investigations, booking investigations, that is, you can send me an email, parian@cwtd.co. We are mostly wanting to still keep it focused on outdoor locations versus any private indoor home or business locations, just until this COVID mess really gets super cleared up.
Yeah.
But if you are having, like, you know, a lot of activity at an indoor location, still reach out. We may just send one or two of our crew who have, you know, already got cleared with their vaccination out to you. It just depends, you know, on everyone's availability and exactly what's going on and stuff. So still reach out, but just know that We are really just trying to focus on like outdoor locations, right now, or even empty structures that aren't lived in would give
That's
our
fun.
team the ability to spread out, and also since it's not a lived in location,
Yeah.
there's probably it's a little safer.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay in touch. Send me any questions, comments. Let me know what you want to see on the show. Let me know what didn't work for you when you were watching.
Just killed a fairy.
I was an ant. Okay. Not by a little fairy riding it though. It's like their horse.
You just killed the king. Good job, Mary. Anne.
Well, now that I'm cursed, I'm gonna wake up with like my socks around my neck.
Oh God, no, don't say that.
No, so you guys know the drill. Stay in touch. You can hit me on the Facebooks, The Parayan, Coffee with the Dead Facebook, Spirits Wake Facebook, email parayan@cwtd.co. Keep checking out Werewolves. We are coming back. We will be going out again at some point this year. It's all between waiting for the team to be vaccinated and the weather just to break a little bit, because the nighttime weather is still just a bit nippy. But we are trying to get back out there. We got some plans. We have a list of places that we're just trying to make contact with right now and get things all, officialized on the books and stuff. So check them out. Go to the Facebook page, which is Werewolves, and go to check out our Amazon Prime series. I think we have 3 episodes up.
Okay.
So keep up with that. And remember, the veil is thin. Hey, okay, so welcome to the show. We are live with Matt and Julie. Can you guys hear us? Matt, can you guys hear us? So, hi guys, this is Matt and Julie. And you are, actually, Matt's a former friend of mine from, well, not former friend, but formerly from Virginia. Can you guys mute your volume? We're getting a lot of feedback. Just leave your microphone on. Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds good. Yeah, just your microphone. Now you can't hear me. Okay, I think that might be better. Yeah, we're not getting the feedback. You can't hear me. Nope, no feedback now. Can you hear me though? There we go. We got it. Okay. So, Matt is a friend of mine from Virginia. He was part of the Red Vein Army, who was actually on the first episode of Coffee with the Dead. We did a walkthrough with them, and just recently he moved to Calker City, Kansas, and is in the process of opening up auditorium and monster museum. So this is Matt and his partner Julie. Do you guys want to kind of just give a little introduction of what you're doing? That's awesome. So do you have a date for your grand opening in mind? Yeah. Okay, so that's a good spot. Are there any chances of getting on like the roadside attractions list since you're across from the Twine? That'd be great. What inspired you to, drop everything you were doing with Red Vein and just go to Kansas?
Big road trip. I left my job, bought a Subaru, a better car, and spent 2 months driving across the country, just seeing all the little roadside attractions that there are. Always kind of really liked the idea of roadside attractions and things like that. And so I was kind of halfway looking like on Route 66 for a place. And then I came to Kansas specifically to see the Ball of Twine, because I had made the joke that I was going to go see all the world's largest whatevers, balls of twine, forks, and whatnot. And so I came to Kansas to see the Ball of Twine. And that leg of the trip, I was by myself, so I stopped for the night in the town. And before I was leaving the next day, I happened to notice that a building was for sale. And by December, I owned that building. And then it's been a month now, we moved here and have been painting and building and setting up shop.
That's awesome. So was this already a shop, or what kind of made you say this is the building?
This space originally was a bank. So it was built around 1907, 1909, something like that. Our shop area was actually the bank. So the wall behind me that's striped is actually the vault, the bank vault. The doors aren't there. But so there's retail space here, and then there's an apartment upstairs and behind it that we live in. So this is it was kind of perfect because, our shop and our living space was all in one place, and the price just couldn't be beat. I couldn't afford to do this in Richmond or in Virginia, and so this is really just a great opportunity for us to try something new and to really try something from the ground up.
So both of you have been just working nonstop, painting and designing, this turning it into an abandoned. I guess was it abandoned when you found it, or?
No, it had been an antique store.
Okay.
So for a long time, the building kind of sat unused, and then the former owner bought it about 5 years ago now, and he ran an antiques shop out of this space and lived in the apartment. And he spent a lot of time and money rehabbing it. It still has a lot of the original features to the building. We could change the windows and the electrical and the plumbing and all the major stuff. And so when I heard what the asking price was for the building, I was like, this is it.
Right.
And the fact that we are literally just feet away from the world's largest ball of twine. We can see it from our window. And, there's nothing else here in this town. There's a Dollar General if you want to stop and get a soda or something. But that's it.
Right.
Nobody is taking advantage of the hundreds of people every day and every week that happen to come through this town to see the ball of twine.
You would think there would have been like a whole strip mall of just shops or something.
You would think, and there have been a few people who have tried to do like an antique store and a gift shop or whatever. There is one couple here who have acquired some of the property in town, and what they do is they have changed like an old gas station into an inn and whatnot, because we're also on the shores of Lake Wakanda.
So you
It's
made it on a list already? Or just
What?
the city? Is it just Calker City that's on the list?
On what list?
The tours of the lakes tours that you were just mentioning?
Oh, we're on the shore of it.
We're
We're on the
okay.
shore of Lake Wakanda.
Okay.
So in the 60s, the Army Corps of Engineers flooded this spring and created a large freshwater lake here. And so there's a lot of fishing and hunting in the area. And so the town really just survives because of the ball of twine and because of the hunters and fishers that come. And so we're trying to kind of make it more of a destination place
Yeah.
where people can come and stay a little bit. And being that close to the water, and so they created a lot of inns, but there was no place really to kind of stop and to look around, especially if you're with a family. You would have to drive a good couple of hours off the main highway to come here, and then there's no place to get a soda, or as they say in this area, pop.
A pop, yeah.
Yeah. To get a pop and a candy bar and whatnot. So that's kind of be our main staple, is to sell pop and vintage candy to people who are coming through town. We kind of took our lead from Captain Spaulding from House of a Thousand Corpses, where he provided service that people needed. He was doing gas and fried chicken. So we're going to leave the murder part out and just try to provide the service that people want, which is just some fun place to, get something to eat, and we're going to sell some weird, stupid little souvenirs and whatnot.
You could have those insect lollipops, the lollipops with the bugs in them.
Yeah, we've looked at a lot of different things. We're going to specialize in like vintage candy bars we haven't seen in a long time. We're selling regular sodas, but then we'll also filter in some fun flavors like mustard and ranch and dirt and those kinds of things. and just have fun stuff that you would want on a road trip.
Right.
Our logo has a monster finger puppet on it, so hopefully we're going to build the world's largest monster finger puppet to be associated with our shop.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Now, have you been in touch with any artists who might be able to help with it, or are you thinking to do it yourself?
Mark Klein, who's out of Virginia, who does a lot of fiberglass artwork. He recently installed Buck Adams on Route 66. And he runs Dinosaur Kingdom 2 in Natural Bridge, Virginia. But he also gave me a behind-the-scenes tour of his workshop. I kind of got the idea of how to build this, so I think I'm going to try it first.
Okay.
And if it doesn't come out the way I want, then I might, and once we get the money, we might get him to help us out.
I met that other guy too.
Oh yeah, we met another artist in one of the towns nearby here, Beloit, Kansas, and he has been building a lot of sculptures on the side of his. I think he calls it Grandpa's Jurassic Garage or something like that. He's just eclectic like we are, and just kind of nuts, and just does stuff because he can. Which is also the other nice thing about being in this town in Kansas is there's not a lot of rules that we have to follow. When I was in Red Vein and we were opening the escape room there, it took a lot to get all the permits and jump through all the hoops to get the doors open, and none of which, when I asked, where do I get this and who do I talk to about that, when we first came to town, they looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice, right? Makes things easier for you too.
We don't do that.
Right.
But, hey, that's cool. We can work with those rules. So.
I think they were glad that we were coming.
Mm-hmm.
I was leading me into my next question was, since it's been, so long that the largest ball of twine has been there and there's been no other real tourism upbuilding or anything, what was your welcome into town when they found out you were here to build a business?
A lot of people have kind of given us some space. We've had a lot of online interaction with a lot of the folks in town, but there's a core group of folks that we've seen. One gentleman who runs the Historical Society helped us move in. The lady who actually keeps all the records for the Ball of Twine has been by and been helpful. We had a reporter stop by the other day that she helped arrange that. So everyone's been extremely helpful and very encouraging. The town has been really encouraging. We say city because it's part of the name. Cocker City is the name of the town. But it's 1 square mile, and there's 400 people here.
I think so.
Yeah, it's really, really small.
Well,
the tourism board is interested in us too.
Yeah.
We've had the Mitchell County Tourism Board has come by a couple of times.
Right.
So where's the nearest entertainment outside of your shop and the twine?
There's a Mexican restaurant that we like a lot.
Yeah, 20 miles one way is a bigger town, and then an hour or so away is a larger town that has like a Walmart and whatnot. We did find a bowling alley about 45 minutes away.
Wow. So you've definitely just been, I guess, motivated to stay focused on building the store, and there hasn't been any real distractions, huh?
Right, yeah, there hasn't been a lot going on.
How do you feel? Because that's so different than Richmond.
Oh, I like it. We like it a lot. We both have been married a couple of times and have children. My kids are older, are both adults. Her older 2 are also adults, and they all stayed back in Virginia. But her youngest son is 9 and is here with us, and he's been able to go to school for the first time in person and just kind of be a normal kid again.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's also been part of the thing. We didn't really do a whole lot of work today. We took off and went to Lucas, Kansas to visit the Garden of Eden, which this guy who he was a little nuts himself, and he built all these sculptures in his yard about 100 years ago. And so, and then he's buried there and his mummy is there, which I thought was pretty awesome.
That is pretty neat, how he legally got away with being buried on his own property, but Elvis did it too.
Yeah. Well,
except you can see this guy.
Yeah, you can actually see
really?
his body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, which is cool. I think he said his first wife is buried under him in the concrete.
Yeah,
because he had to steal the body.
He had to go back and dig her up because they didn't want him to do that.
Well, that's Kansas, huh?
Right. Yeah. Kansas is different, and it's a nice different where it's more laid back, and uh, so yeah, it's going to be nice. I think we're gonna have fun here.
Sounds like a nice setup. So, what is your most like prized display piece? Or I know you both have spent a lot of time painting and building things inside the store. So, what is maybe like your biggest accomplishment?
Oh, actually, I really like just looking around. I'm like, I made that and I built that and I did this.
Right.
So it's kind of nice to have my own artwork and props here. Right behind me, in the case behind me, is actually a real skeleton. That's our real Frankenstein skeleton. The beginning of COVID, I was gifted several boxes of old teaching specimens from a medical school, and so I actually assembled this gentleman behind me out of bits and pieces of various parts. They're all in the correct places, but they're not from the same individual. So he's my real Frankenstein skeleton.
Oh, that's a
and
good
then
one.
The panel behind us here exists there because there's a door behind the panel that leads directly into our bedroom from the shop, and we didn't want customers just wandering in.
Yeah, no, that would be awkward.
So in order to hide it, we built a panel.
Okay, nice.
So, and then we have a baby alien that I stole from Roswell. We have Count Pluckula, the world's only vampire chicken.
We have the rear view.
The rear view, which is an entire wall of taxidermied butts.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures on Facebook. That's pretty great.
Yeah, yeah, that's your favorite part.
That is my favorite part. Yeah.
So it's just a mix of different stuff, classic oddities like the fur-bearing trout and things like that you would find in other roadside attractions, the Fiji mermaid, and then we've taken some of taxidermy and made it our own, I guess.
Yeah.
Since we're in Kansas, we dressed a raccoon up as Dorothy and a couple of squirrels up as the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz.
How did you even find clothes to fit taxidermied animals?
They're all custom made. Thanks to my mom for helping us make the dress for Dorothy, and then I made the outfits for the flying monkeys out of felt.
Wow. So, is there anything in your shop that hasn't been custom built by somebody?
Yeah, there's a couple of like store-bought props. Like we have a cheap animatronic alien that stands at the door who will greet customers just to kind of let them know that there's an alien in the back.
Right.
There are a few bought props, but the majority of the stuff is stuff that we've made or other people have made for us.
That's really unique, and like hopefully people who visit in word of mouth and whatnot, that really spreads, because you just don't find that. Other auditoriums and things are usually just collector pieces or like from antique shops and
Right. There's a large chain auditorium who will remain nameless that has their own world's largest ball of twine, and they did a documentary about a decade ago, and they actually came to this town and tried to buy the ball of twine here. And they also went to Darwin, Minnesota, where another ball of twine is. That's the one that Weird Al sings about in his song. And that guy has gone to that town to purchase their ball of twine as well. So they are what they just go around and buy up stuff. Where most of our stuff is homegrown. We made it here.
Right. That just seems pretty unoriginal if you're going to go around and basically stealing other people's ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you come here to Cawker City, which everyone's welcome, you can actually be part of the Ball of Twine history because you can actually roll twine on it yourself. There's a lady in town who we can hook you up with, and she'll give you some twine and let you roll it around the ball a couple of times. And then there's a big festival in August called the Twine-a-thon. Those are the things that really kind of keep this town going, and so we're just hoping to be part of that fabric of just kind of fun place to stop in and see something unusual, and
Yeah.
spend a little bit of time on your trip.
Now,
We had a great time on our road trip, and we just want to help other people have fun too.
yeah, I did one of those. I took my mom a couple of years back, and we did one of those roadside attraction trips just up and down the East Coast, though. We didn't make it out west, but there is some really cool stuff out there, and old stuff that the people who are really dedicated to it have just kept it up in good condition.
Yeah.
Right, and the thing is, those things are disappearing.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I went last summer was, you always say, oh, when I retire, I'm going to do whatever. I'll drive Route 66. I'll see these things. But the truth is, since I graduated from high school, 90% of that stuff is gone away.
Right.
And by the time I could retire, how much more of it would be left? No one knows. And so, we're new, but we're hoping to be in that same spirit.
Who knows? Maybe you'll spark the interest of a new generation of, roadside folks, or, who knows?
Right.
Because when was the last newest thing like you're doing? Even, nothing has even came to like Calker City, for example. Until you guys came.
Right.
So people don't really think about doing those types of things anymore.
Right. So it was kind of a big leap of faith for us. A big, okay, we're going to move 1,200 miles away and take everything we own and try to start a business from scratch. Neither one of us have owned a business before.
Did you do a test run? Did you come out and visit and stay for a while and see if you'd enjoy living there, or you just kind of up and leave?
I agreed to move here sight unseen. I've never been here.
Okay.
And we came out in January with a truckload of stuff and spent a weekend here, but that was it.
That was it, one weekend?
One weekend.
Yeah, I had been twice before that. Once when I came to see the ball of twine, and then the second when I came to talk with the realtor and the owner of the building about the purchase.
Yeah.
And then that was on my way back to Virginia during the road trip. And then most everything else we did, remotely. And then once we had already purchased the property, and we brought this stuff from my house back in January, that was the first time she'd ever been in Kansas, right? And just the third time I've been here. So.
Wow. So you just kind of went on a little bit of leap of faith and gut instinct, huh?
Right. And most of the idea, most of the name, the concept, the color pattern, everything just kind of came up as we drove around and we're just thinking about things. I probably visited 100 different places similar to ours across the country, and just getting ideas. Oh, I like how this person did this. I didn't like what this person did here.
Right.
And then also talking to our friends Kitty and Ryan from Red Vein.
Yes.
Getting some business advice from them, and of course the experience of helping literally build the escape room.
Yeah.
And the haunted houses that they do, really kind of gave me the confidence to say, you know what, this is something that we can do, and we'll give it a while, to see if it works. And if after 5 years or so this doesn't work, then we can figure out what to do next. But this is where we're going to be for a while, and I don't think we're going to have a problem being successful here, because there's no competition.
Mm-hmm. And you came at a good time of year too. You came during the off season, I guess. Do they have a tourist season?
Yeah, they have a tourist season where there's more people who come, probably May to October or November.
So the timing is lining up good for you guys too.
Right. But
there are people at the ball every day.
Every day.
Really?
Every day that we've been working in here. In fact, since we've been talking here this evening, a couple just walked past the store, and had we not been talking to you, I probably would have let them in and showed them around.
Right.
But yeah, we've had lots of people in the building even before we're officially open, just checking out what we're doing, and the overwhelming majority of people have been extremely positive.
That's really cool. So I guess you have like pamphlets made up or something to hand out to the people who are coming through, or it's just kind of.
We have some stickers, and then the monster finger puppet is going to be our mascot. So
Yeah.
we've been giving out some of those. So yeah, it's just fun stuff. And but literally, we're right on the main street, and you can see the ball of twine from where we are, and they can see us. So they're like, something's going on up there. And now, of course, since we painted everything,
Yeah.
all these bright colors, they're, people are wanting to see what's happening, and we have a concrete Bigfoot out front. And so I think daily people have taken pictures with that too. So, people are just interested in what's going on and what else is here in town.
Well, you guys sound like you are just in the right kind of spot, kind of, it's already a known area, but it's also not overly saturated, and
right.
Yeah.
It was kind of the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
The price of the building, the condition of the building, the flow of customers,
Right.
the fact that there's no competition, and then finding vendors were really kind of easy. We had looked for a little bit on our own to buy like a refrigerator for sodas, and then once I talked to the Coke company here in this area of Kansas, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll bring you a machine and we'll fix it for you if it breaks and whatever." And it's already here.
Wow, that's like it's just meant to be.
Yeah, everything is just falling into place.
We had a lot of lead time when we were still in Richmond to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Put the little things into place that weren't painting or putting things on the walls or stuff like that, but put the other stuff into place. So a lot of that was done before we got here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And how do you like living right next to your business? Is that just like the life, or?
All the commute is so.
I know, traffic, right?
Exasperating, yeah, no, it's wonderful not to have to,
You don't have to
might
stress
choose
about your
home easier.
business when you're not home. I mean, when you're home, you don't have to worry about what's going on at the shop, and
Yeah, that's nice. I guess in the future it may end up being trouble disconnecting, but because my plan is for this first year, I'm gonna try to be as open as much as that we can, because we don't really know what days of the week are better than others,
right.
what times of the day are better. So my plan is just to be open all the time that we physically can be.
Yeah.
I know she and her son are planning on going back to Virginia to visit and some other obligations, but unless my daughter just got married, unless there's a grandchild in the mix, I don't think I'm going to be going back. And please, Grace, don't on my account. So I'm just not going to plan on taking any major time away until we figure out
what the balance is and when
right.
everything is happening. Yeah.
So, but by being able to be here all the time, we can, I don't feel like I'm going to be chained to this room. We can still be making, the changes that we want to make to our living space, changing out tile colors and paint colors and things like that. I can be working on that, in between customers, because it's not going to be like 15 people at all times in the building.
Right.
I'm expecting there to be a family that are here for 30 minutes and then they leave, and then there might be an hour and then there's another group that comes in. That's the way I'm expecting business to be. And with already owning the building right out, we don't own anything on it, our business expenses are lower, so we have to pay the electricity and water and whatever the stock is.
Right.
And that's really all we have the overhead that we have at this point.
Wow.
So,
that is
yeah.
like the dream business. I mean, like, you just got it made. there's, yeah. I mean, you hear people starting up businesses and it's all, just a lot of growing pains and, horror stories and things, but everything's just lining up for y'all.
It is. We did talk to one bank about maybe getting a loan, but because of COVID, they weren't loaning money to anybody. It wasn't just us. In fact, the lady was like, man, I wish I could give you money. But because they really, like everybody we told the concept was like on board right away. And so it's just been, it's just been so easy. Things have just fallen into place like it was meant to be. So we're just so happy to be here.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I got the link to your Facebook page in show notes for people after they view to get in touch with you guys. Do you have a website up and running yet? Or should Facebook be the main contact point?
I think Facebook would be the main at this point. We do have a website, but we seem to post more on Facebook.
It's easier access. It's easier to update than a whole website.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I don't really understand a whole lot about the technical side of running a website. So it's Facebook is more user friendly and more interactive, and people can ask questions on there, and talk. And like we posted some photos of our paint job 2 days ago, and we've already had over 3,000 hits.
Wow.
3,000 engagements, I guess is what they call it.
Okay.
Where people, have seen it and liked it and passed it on to somebody else. And so, those things are very encouraging, that people are really wanting to see us succeed.
That's awesome that you have so much support already and your doors aren't even open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to even put a sign on the door saying we're opening soon.
People just were trying to come in.
Right.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
And we had stuff in front of the door, the main door, and people would come into the side residence door, looking for us because they're that eager to see what we're up against.
Yeah. That's good. And I'm happy to hear that the locals aren't like, they could be, those small towns can kind of be resistant to change and, new things coming in. So that's awesome that even the town is happy to see you guys.
Yeah, I think for the most part, we haven't really encountered many of the folks who may not be happy.
Yeah.
That are here. But I did have one conversation with a gentleman. I was outside painting one day, and he said something because of the theme that we have. And he was worried that we were bringing Satan to his town or something like that.
For sure, yeah. And if you do anything for Krampus, I'm sure you'll get comments then, too.
Yeah, and see, the thing they don't realize is I used to be a minister, so I can talk all that stuff all day long.
Right.
I can talk theology all day long. And then also the fact that, as I explained to him, I was like, I know the town is trying to upgrade some of their plumbing throughout the city, and which costs money. And every car that goes through this town and doesn't spend a dime here when they stop to see the ball is just money that the town has lost. And every customer that we can get in the door and that spends money with us is tax money that we're keeping in the town that helps pay for these kinds of things. And he was like, "Oh, okay, I see that now." And so, so I think he was just trying to check us out. I was also think he was trying to see if I was going to back.
Yeah, just testing you. Yeah.
And I think the goal is if someone goes to the ball of twine to keep them in town for as long as possible.
Right. Yeah.
And if we do well, maybe it'll help the business that has, you know, all the little ends, or maybe it'll create an opportunity where someone will be able to open up a lunch counter or something here, a little greasy spoon restaurant, you know, in town, and maybe somebody else can start some other business. You know, there's a lot of vacant space here in this town, and there's a lot of opportunity here. So if any of the listeners out there are looking to try to do something different, there's opportunity in Kansas. You know, and it's not as expensive it is on the East Coast to try to get your feet wet. And thankfully, we recognized the opportunity that was here, and we're able to take it. And we're in a place that we were able to do it at the time. But I think this is going to be something fun.
It really sounds fun. It sounds like it's worth planning a trip already, just from my point of view.
Yeah, come on out. We'd love to see you.
Now, since you do have such like a oddball collection of stuff that you've used to make these props and displays and things, have you had, you know, any strange activity or anything happening? Or, I mean, this is a paranormal talk show, so I just have to ask.
Right. I've never been one that's really been able to sense activity, but her son woke up the other night saying that he heard banging down here. I think it was the dog, because part of the bargaining chip to get him to agree or to be more, you know, agreeable to the situation of moving away from his family was that my dog became his dog.
Okay.
And so he sleeps in his room with him, and she is kind of an itchy dog. And so I used to work nights, and there were many times that she would like be scratching, and you know how a dog will do their paw when they
start thumping. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she would hit the floor, and there were lots of times that I would jump up out of bed and go answer the door, and there was nobody there. It was because the dog was doing it. And so I think that's what it was, but who knows?
He says that she was sitting on his bed the whole time.
Well, we don't know. I know that we're trying to get up with a paranormal group here in Kansas out of Wichita. And so maybe there is something here. I do know that I have heard a few local stories that there's a body buried down the street in what used to be the old blacksmith shop and whatnot. So who knows?
Maybe you could also start running a ghost walk or something and have it be hosted out of your shop.
A lot of stories.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody listening who knows local legends, whether they have to do with ghosts or aliens or you know, cryptozoology creatures or whatnot, you know, get in contact with me. I'd love to talk to you about all those stories and kind of start compiling a list. And then if we get enough stories, I would like to do a ghost tour and say, you know, this is the site of, you know, where this happened. I've also heard about the one murder here, or suicide that happened here in town, which, you know, there was some controversy around. So who knows? Once I get my ducks in a row with that, then absolutely I would love to do a ghost tour.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, it has been great talking to both of you. Is there any final comments that you'd like to leave the audience with?
Igor's Auditorium and Monster Museum. Check us out online and come to Kansas and see us and buy lots and lots of stuff.
Buy all the things. All the
Buy
pop.
all the things. Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, sure, anytime. And if you guys ever have any other news, events, updates, whatever you want to come back on, you're always welcome.
Certainly. All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right.
Good night.
Night.
So that was a little different start to the show than normal and what you guys are used to. But as also a couple of things going on. That was Matt and Julie from Quaker City, Kansas, with the world's largest ball of twine being right across from their brand new business called Igor's Auditorium and Monster Museum in Quaker City, Kansas. And the link to that is in show notes. You might have noticed the beginning of the show was a lot different than normal. You may have noticed that, obviously there was some audio and visual anomalies. It's kind of a result of two things. First of all, the good news, I have learned how to cross-stream. Very, very, very big stuff here with the technology happening. It lets me stream to multiple platforms at the same time. So I can, I'm streaming to Twitch and I'm also streaming to Facebook at the same time tonight. Now, I know you guys also didn't have a lot of notice that I was doing a show and I haven't been doing them in a while, so you're not used to me broadcasting anymore and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, not as many people in here as what, I'm used to. But, so you're not used to me but hopefully, you guys are watching after the fact, or watching this, after it's been live and are still enjoying the content. So keep on reaching out to me and let me know what you want to see in the show. Let me know what you have enjoyed already from past episodes, what you're looking forward to. And let me just, let me know where you would like to see the show go next. If you want to be a guest, I'm always booking interviews. And I'm still getting comfortable with this platform, with Twitch. This is still like only my 5th day using it, so there's some there's some awkward moments for sure, but we'll get through those. And if you are watching on Twitch, there is an option to tip me down on the bottom of the page, which would be super cool if you have enjoyed any of what I've been doing this week. Let's see, I made tomato pie, lots of Candy Crush streaming. If there's any games you would like to see me play on Twitch also, just drop those notes in the suggestion box. There is one, it's on the bottom of the page also, next to the tips and next to the link to the Teespring store, which is still up and running. Julie just came in chat. Hi. You can, I think you, even though this is live, I still think you can rewind and watch your interview if you want to. So, I wasn't sure that I was going to get this cross-streaming to work tonight, but I did. It's a little rough, so go ahead and forget about all that. And just click the like, subscribe, follow button, and come back and check us out again. We will be doing live shows now every Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on both Twitch and Facebook, and those links are in show notes on YouTube channel, and they will also be posted on Twitch as well, so that you have easy access. And again, if you have anything spooky or interesting or odd that you would like to promote or just chat about, or if you've had any experiences that you would like to share, ghost stories you'd like to tell, whatever, I would be more than happy to have you on the show. And I also like to book musicians. If you want to do a little live set, promote your newest album, just get some airtime, you can email me, paraannhaunts or Paraann at cwtd.co. Oh, this is Colin, Julie's son. Oh, hi, Colin. Did you get to watch any of the interview with your mom and Matt? So yeah, you can email me, Paraann at cwtd.co. Give me a call. You can leave me a voice message on my voice line, and the number is 443-267-8217, or you can reach out to me on Facebook. I am at the Paraann, or you can just go to the Coffee with the Dead Facebook page and message me there. So we will be back next Sunday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And during the week, I will be on Twitch doing whatever I feel like doing. So make sure to follow and subscribe to me there, as well as on YouTube. And until next time, y'all, remember, the veil is thin.